Welcome to Armored Warfare. So this is going to be the second episode of my series on the game, and now we're getting into the meat of things. Now we've done the first tier, to PT76 and M113. So now we're getting into the tier 2, where the actual classes of vehicles start to appear. So we have main battle tanks, light tanks, and scouts, armored fighting vehicles. I will show you the tech tree right now. There's these two tech trees, as you can see, and there's also APCs, but APCs work a little bit differently, and artillery, which also works a little bit differently. At tier 3, we will also get to see tank destroyers, but yeah, that will be later. So today's video will be about the Patton the Patton 48, M48 Patton, and the equivalent, the T54, the Soviet equivalent. These are main battle tanks, which are basically your a bit of a mix between a medium tank and a heavy tank in role. And yeah, they're pretty much meant to be the main frontline fighters of any armored force. Now, I have mostly fully upgraded them. As you can see, the Patton is mostly fully upgraded, and the T54 only missing HE shells, but they're not very good, so I will not get them. And so basically, you will see the fully upgraded tank and what it can do. They both have a similar frontal armor, pretty decent frontal armor, but lacking in the lower glacis. If you shoot at the lower glacis in both of these vehicles, you will be able to penetrate them, and they are quite exposed. So that's the obvious weak spot from the front. And very good frontal turret armor, especially the T54 because it's better angled. The Patton also is pretty angled, and it's got a meaty armor compartment on the turret, but not as good as the T54. They are roughly equal in gun performance, though possibly the ammunition that you unlock later on the Patton does more penetration, I'm not sure. No, actually, it looks to be the opposite. Slightly more penetration on the T54, but really negligible differences. So, I will jump to the gameplay right now. I will go first over to T54 and then over to Patton. So, see you later. And we're in game with the T72. 72. I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. T72 is a tier 4 tank. The T54, the match is okay. It's on River Point, which is a map that has a bit of a town in the middle and a couple lanes to the left and the right. So a bit of a classic map, with heavy tank battleground in the middle. A few flanking opportunities, but not that much. And it's mostly tier 2 vehicles, so that's where we shine. Okay, now, I can load two types of ammunition in tier 2 main battle tanks. Well, mainly two types, AP and heat. So that's what we have, and they're fully upgraded. Just as we're heading into the center, I'm gonna go into the center because my armor is pretty good, so I can slug it out with hopefully some less well-armored vehicles and get some cheap damage. So I have loaded heat. Because usually inexperienced players go in the middle a lot. Enemy T54 does not appear too willing to engage me, because we will probably not penetrate each other in this kind of situation. I've completely missed. The way I've positioned myself is not optimal. I'll load AP to better penetrate these well-armored vehicles. There's a BMP on the other side. He tried to shoot me, but it didn't really work. And I'm pretty sure I hit him. The APCs that you may be wondering what their use is, they can load anti-tank missiles, which are, you know, very good burst damage, but long to reload, and they're pretty sneaky. Though once they are revealed, they're super squishy, so they die pretty much instantly. Because they're not well armored and they're also very big. The fact that they are APCs, so they're supposed to be troop carriers, is kind of representative of the fact that they capture points way faster than other tanks. So, you know, kind of representing, oh, we have infantry support and shit. So I'm guessing that's supposed to be their point. Though I do not think they are very good at all, from my experience at least.
Identify target. Hostile tank.
I decided to shoot at the gun there, because I couldn't shoot anything else. And now he is exposing some... Wow, I hit the tracks and it didn't penetrate. The guy's trying to obviously flank me, and that was a bad idea because he exposed himself very much. Hit his track, but that was not worth it because he got my... So, nice hit on him. He clearly does not know where to shoot on these tanks. And someone else finished him off, thankfully, because it looks like our last round missed. The accuracy on the, I believe it's a D10T gun, 100mm. It's not that great, especially on the move. So yeah. I should not have been showing my side armor there. It allowed them to get an easy shot. The BMP actually has a pretty powerful gun. Some of the other APCs that are in the game do not have a very powerful gun, but the BMP actually does and can damage you quite heavily. So you should always be wary of it. And they just... Who put that rock there? What the fuck? So I obviously ran into a rock because I'm just so skilled. And as you can see in this game, there's what you might know from World of Tanks as Sixth Sense, which was a commander skill in World of Tanks, and it took forever to unlock. But on this game, it's a standard ability that everyone gets. So when you are spotted, it gives you an indicator up above. Gives you a bit of an indicator, and yeah. So that's always very useful, especially if you're playing a tank that's not a main battle tank, because main battle tanks have pretty good armor, and at this low tier, a lot of people don't know where to shoot. So, so you can always survive a lot, even in the open. But on a bit of a on another kind of vehicle that's more vulnerable. As you can see, the smoke grenade, the smoke grenade. The Leopard 1 is a bit of a smoke grenade. But as you can see, the Leopard 1 is very much vulnerable, squishy. It's got very poor armor compared to other vehicles. And I'm already talking about the Leopard because I just faced one. But it's a tier 3 vehicle, and I'll show it later. I don't find the Leopard to be very good in this game, just because the armor is so pathetically weak that you will always be... you need a better player to play the Leopard effectively. A player that's good enough to not get, hit. And I'm not that kind of player, so I will pretty much suck at the Leopard, as you see. Now, as you could see, the T54 is good in prolonged slugfests, which is what most main battle tanks are going to be good for in this game. The Leopard is one of the fewer that's not really good at slugfest fighting, but more a sniper tank, I guess you could say. With a lot of mobility, but also a very good gun. So those are the two subclasses, I guess you could call them, in main battle tanks. And there's only one enemy left, it's Patton, and he's over there. So we will probably not be able to reach him in time. This was an okay game. I will see you later with the whatchamacallit, with the M48, hopefully. So just stay tuned. And we're in game with the Patton. So the Patton, unlike the T54, well, kind of like the T54, is a bit slowish compared to other tanks, but very much good firepower and good armor. So what you want to be doing, just like the T54, is trying to expose only the turret, because that's where your best armor is. Match is pretty okay. I don't really like the map Roughneck. I don't like it that much, but hey, what can you do? Enemy team is composed mostly of tier 2, so it's good. I'll be loading Heat by default. Actually, no, I'll be loading AP by default. These are, I believe, HVAP rounds. Yeah, high velocity AP rounds. There are like several types of, like subtypes of ammunition. There's the HVAP, there's APCC, which is ballistic capped ammunition that does damage to modules even if it doesn't penetrate. There's straight AP, just regular AP, and then there's, I believe, APCR also. You know, the differences are mostly just the name. The main ammo types are still free. You know, AP, HE, Heat. Heat being the more standard round. So what I want to be doing right now is going to the cap circle, because not a lot of people go into the cap in this game for some reason. As you can see, my team is mostly holding back or trying to flank up here, even though there's no point to flanking there in this map. So the enemy seems to be doing the same. There's a T54 over there. I missed. He's in a pretty shitty position, but I'm also in a pretty shitty position, so we're even. There's another T54 there, but there's a lot of stuff in the way. There's also a hill, I believe. There's also another tank that showed up there. Is this possibly a bad idea to stand out here? Try to get a sight shot. No. Try to stay angled a bit. He did not penetrate, but I also didn't penetrate. I did some track damage. So he's behind me, I'm behind him. And I hit his turret, he hit my turret. So these, like, these close range engagements aren't really in my favor, because his team, well, thankfully his team is missing me, but if they had good aim, then I'd be in trouble, because I'm having to expose my backside, and I have no support from my team, because I'm not supporting me right. Whew. Managed to outrun his turret rotation. Now trying to face my armor in the best possible direction for as many enemies as possible, taking out the closest target, because that's the more likely target to damage me. So yeah, it's pretty much basic tactics. At these tier 2s, you still do not have a lot of the more, I guess, complicated mechanics like smoke, anti-tank missiles, that kind of stuff, different types of ammunition and armor. So at this point, it's just what you should know from any kind of World War II, like War Thunder or World of Tanks, that World War II tank game that you've played. But a lot of people don't know it, like don't know the basics, so you can rack up quite a bit. Good matches. See, like that guy, he's turning around the corner in a pretty wrong way, exposing a lot of side armor, which is obviously pretty bad. And if my gun hadn't missed due to RNGesus, I'd have gotten another good shot in. He's coming in again. He's not learning. And now I failed. He's shooting HE, I think, at me, or maybe a B ballistic apt. Not really doing anything. That was a bad shot on my part. He's doing quite a bit compared to me because he's hitting my modules. As you can see, my damage commander sight. Yep. So I will have less view range. But now that I am a bit closer to him, I could aim correctly into his lower glaciers, and as you can see, it penetrated quite easily. Even if you have an unupgraded ammo, because in this game you not only upgrade the modules on your tank like the engine or the gun, you also upgrade the ammo that you fire. There is no premium ammo like in some other games. So it's a bit like War Thunder, where you upgrade your ammo and that way you increase your potential penetration and damage. Wow, I do not know how. I guess I hit a shot trap of some kind that the T54 has that I didn't know, because I shot at a turret right there and it penetrated, which should not have happened. It really shouldn't have happened, because I do not have the necessary penetration to go through. But yeah, the only vehicle around that's remaining is a lab 150, at least close to me. So I will go heat because there's no need to load APCR HVAP against such a light vehicle, and they still make these light scouts, armored fighting vehicles, are really hard to hit sometimes. But once they are hit, they go down really quickly. You need to be really smart to play these vehicles. Well, I'm gonna explain it in a bit higher detail when I get to play this in a few videos. But the main reason you play these is their ability to spot vehicles, of course, and hide better. But also because they have an ability that basically targets, highlights a target, and all damage that hits that target is increased by, I believe, 20%. So that's why you always want to have some in your team, and you want to be playing them sometimes. So the enemy team does not care about trying to cap right now, and so we won. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and possibly learned something about the basics of armored warfare, and I will see you soon with more videos on, I believe, light tanks is what I will cover next. So the M41, which is the tier 2 light tank. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.